that, because he would say, "Una Leon, ke yona ntate o jwang? Yo, batho motho o ke mong ka kae?" But eventually appreciate him. So appreciate your partner. Look at the good side of all these money archetypes. Yeah, so I'm done with the archetypes. I don't know if there are any questions around the archetypes before I move to the next session. Yeah, no, but ke kopa le botseng hle, so that you can be helped. I mean, yes, sir. Aye. Um, you can do a few things on the caring side, but you are always a penny pincher. But something happens. There are certain things that will happen in your life that will channel you in a certain direction where you find now maybe you become aware of certain things and then you start helping out a little. But o help out o ntse o bala gore ye ke a ba thusa batho ba mara ba se ka ntlwaela gampe ke tla ba fa 5,000 fela e seng more than that. So that's that because you are aware. Now that you are aware, you can actually make some changes towards the positive. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Marriage regimes. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. So once you are married like that, right? Maybe you discover that you are already married. You have to have conversations. Le motho wa hao. For White King, this is our financial situation. This is your archetype. This is my archetype. These are the good things, and these are the negative things, and these are the things we can do um, to mitigate the negatives. So especially bomme, hangata ke rona, bontate they don't like discussing those things, but you push and you say, okay, let's now maybe open a trust for the kids. Okay? And then we put assets in the trust for the kids. And so a trust, the way it's structured, whatever is in the trust belongs to the kids. So it doesn't matter what you and your spouse do or the debt salona or you become insolvent or whatever you've put in the trust for the kids, for their future, is secured. So the issue here is to have those conversations, to seek financial advice, and then mitigate the negatives. Yeah. Because selling it, ketile, ketile. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Mm. In your kids. Mm. Mm. Neither did I. Mm. The power ya hona nou is that look at school they now teach. Only the program that we did with the Banking Association of South Africa, it's called Teach Children to Save. We implemented Kodikolo. We go to schools and we teach children basic financial principles. And even the Department of Education has included financial literacy as part of the curriculum, kind of. So they might not do it to the level that they're supposed to, but at least it's done. But go high with your kids. What you do is you have to introduce financial literacy in a way that they understand. So for example, o bona di age tseo go tšo re nje ko ha hao go dulang ka tla re maybe go shapile tornado because ba dlala ka di-toys ba etsang. So what you do, you say to them, you have 3 jars with their names. And you say, the one o tlo phutang room ya hae ha fetsa o dlala ke tlo mo kenyetsa 10 rand wa e lahlela ka mo jar. So jar ya bana ba o ke boma ya maybe jar ya khotso e na le 10 rand ya khumo le o mong go na le le ba bona. Then the next time you give them chores to do. So you are also instilling discipline. You're also teaching them to be neat and whatever. At the same time, you are introducing financial principles. So oyentseng something wa kenya mo. So wa ba bona ha ba feta yo khotso sana le di 10 rand tse 5 nna ke na nix le nna ka osane gore ba mathela go cleana jwanong wa ba o instillile ba tlo gola ka yona ntho hore ha re fetsa o dlala ra phutha. But at the same time, they see this money growing. Then when the money grows, you take them to the bank. You say, now we are going to put this money in the bank. Most branches, bana le pleke mo bana ba dlalang, bana le dintho tsa education, wa ba isa, ba fihle ba ba bulele, ba ba fe di-card. Wa ba bolela hore, ke a wa bona tšhelete ele e ka mo. So that's how you start teaching them. When they are at an age where they now understand, now you tell them, or when I give you 20 rand, skaja 20 rand kaofela, eja 15 rand, 5 rand ulo kenya kai mole. So they are beginning, so they always have a point of reference. That jar is there. Oh, this is what I do. This is how I do it. So by the time Baya Kobo grade 6, 7, they are wise. They know that you don't eat all your money. Baya ko high school, it's worse. Baya university. Asiba ba tla renga ba thola NFSAS. Ba etsa ba ilo reka, ba reki di buka, ba ilo kenya manala, ba kenya di wivi ba etsang, then ba patala le accommodation. So that's how you introduce financial literacy. My grandfather tried to introduce it, but my grandfather was weird. We used to stay, the 2 of us, and my grandfather, in a little lekgowa, like this is in my book, and we would set the table every day, morning, noon, and night. And set at tafule, cook, eat. And Hanse Rija, you know how you eat, ne? How jakere, babang, I also look at people how they eat, for education purposes. I even check out how people shop at the malls. Believe you me, for education purposes. So my grandfather, harija, and then kitabela na mayaka ko saiting or no, erikije di vegetables if pele, and kitla kana. Ay, mo kiring fela kisari kijana mayaka stop. Kiraibo dedi. No. You can never eat everything off your plate. You must leave something. Don't be these people baring habaja, baje everything, babe ba khorele gravy mo. So batho ba ilo hlatswang dijana, there's nothing for them to do. So I learned quickly, now when I eat ke qala ka nama. Bana ba tla thola di vegetable, but that was his way of trying to teach me financial principles. So there's so many ways that you can introduce these financial principles. Yeah. Yeah, no, ask. Mm. 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 have to renew your mind. Paul Arinyaninceng, I beseech you, by the mercies of God, that you also renew your mind. Because your dad was speaking from a point of being a penny pincher, and probably he had seen that somewhere, being displayed. So he was carrying it forward. So you have to break it and rather teach her to say, how ku feel 10 rand? O kgutlise 2 rand. And then haitla or why kitso khutlise 2 rand? Re kenya ka mo ra save. Yeah. And then you are changing that. You are breaking that thing, that cycle, and you are introducing something new. And you know also, Lebana, they always ask us for things. Kikupa PlayStation 7. Give guy PlayStation 7. So when your child comes and says, Kikupa PlayStation 7, or no problem. PlayStation 7, kitlo fa yona ka December. You are setting a goal. Ki January. December. You are teaching them the fruit of the Spirit, patience. They must wait until December. Urmara, for you to get it, you have to also do something. I'm not just going to gift it to you. So it means utlo polisha ditlaku tsa rona kaofela o mo fa cho, then for that I put money in. Then ka November la intsha wena le ena la ibala chelet. Maybe cheleta teng ki 1,000 or something, PlayStation ki 8,000, or okay, I'm going to top it up. But they have contributed towards it. This thing of us just giving, we are teaching children the wrong money principles. That's why bana lehase ure auna yona genuinely, they don't understand. They don't understand the value of money. They don't understand that money is a commodity that you exchange for something. Yeah. Okay. Is there any last question on this one? Okay, then we move. Yes, sir. Udream. Yeah. Sure. Same thing. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. And actually, yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So your income is not consistent. That's my next episode, actually, that on my podcast, interviewing a couple that's in the arts. One gets, works like that, and one is permanently employed. And at some stage, COVID, both of them were unemployed. Those dynamics. So I think the principle here that I always tell even people who run small businesses is that be intentional. And it starts with you knowing, Hore, this is my line of work. So it means that I'm not guaranteed a salary every month. Therefore, I must be very intentional about what I do, because in this industry, there are seasons, just like the seasons, winter, spring, summer. In your summer, when things are good, that's when you must be prudent with your finances, because hangata people, when they're in their summer, that's when they're reckless. They're not thinking that autumn is coming, winter is coming. So I always advise people to say, when you quote, maybe you're doing a job and the job is 200,000, you are quoting the people 200,000. When in your mind, we play, Lord, this job is going to give me 150. It's amazing when you tell yourself all the time, speak to yourself, or no, this job give 150. I'm waiting for 150. And everything that you do, you count, you plan around 150. Ha e tla tjhelete ne, 150 is what you have. The 50, you put it away. The next job, like that. That's how you do that. When winter or autumn comes, you have something to fall back on, for those months when things are not going well. That's the best that you can do. Yeah. 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 Yeah, you just decide on a percentage, and that's why when you quote people, you give them an invoice of, like, that's what I do now. Ne? Eh, I do coaching. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm a coach. Eish, I'm many things, man. I even forget some of these things. So I'm coaching quite a few people on NetBank. So when they say, give us an invoice, I tell myself, oh, kita charge 20,000. But actually, my invoice probably 40,000. But from day one, I know I charge 20,000. But what I give them is different to what I've told myself. And then, even when I plan, I'm like, okay, I got 20,000 box, or go to this, go to that, go to that, because there's a 20,000 that I'm automatically on the day that it lands in my account, I move it out. Yes. So, because my life is revolving around 20, that's all I have. So you also have to psych yourself out, speak to yourself, get used to that. So I'm so used to it. Like, somebody called me, "Maobane, are you talking in such a?" I'm like, yo. Oh, bachilo amount. But now in my mind, I'm expecting so much. So even as I stand here, if you think, ha ke tswa mo ke buileng ke yone ke tlo ilo sebedisa engwe automatically ke lo transfer la understand nebazalwane. That's how you do these things. It becomes they say it takes 21 days for you to inculcate a new habit. So it's something that you have to do over and over and over again until it just becomes part of what you do. I'm going to share something at the end around also how you can manage your money in a way that works. Okay, let me move on. Oh, one more. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There are trustworthy people, very hard to find, but they are there. Like, I know one or two or three that are good. And I always say that there are principles that you must implement from the beginning, and you grow with them. I was sharing at my church. There's a time a place called Homemakers. That place had been vandalized by the community. It used to be a beautiful hall, a huge. They vandalized it and they only left the roof. And that's where we fellowshipped for about 20 years, Chris Bible Church. And there were no walls, there was nothing. So every Sunday we would wake up and go to church. And we would be on time. And the same excellence, if you go to my church, the same excellence that you see displayed there is the same excellence that was in that open air place. Winter, summer, spring, raining, whatever. Then I didn't even have a car. If you take a taxi ka 9, utlwa band illa. Re 5 or 10, ka 9, the service starts. Whether you are there or you are not, you know the way we would run. And people would laugh at us. We would run to church. And even now, Umasia speeding. to church, my bishop lives next to my house, and so I reverse kaofela really late. Re reverse kaofela. Ai! A ka re bona mo porch. Hey, you can reakaya lami, reakerekeng. We're chasing because we have to be there on time. It's the excellence that we learned in that place. One of my friend's children, nasantsana le monyane, na rata hore, can I go to the toilet in the jungle? So we were still in the jungle. Yeah, but those same principles, we live by them even now. So implement some of these things, even when you have nothing. Sit with someone and a vision, it is a picture of a preferred future. So you are already envisioning the day you have millions. So you speak to someone, or okay, if Nikinali 50,000, what was I supposed to do? So they start preparing you. So as the money comes in, you are well prepared. So we really need to cultivate that for ourselves. I hope I've answered you. Awesome. There was a hand there. It will be the last question so that I can move on to the next. Okay, can we answer that one at the end? Hopefully, I will have answered you by then. Ne? So I'm going to move into the next session where I just want to share a few financial wellness strategies that I believe if you implement, you will see great changes in your life. Now that you know who you are, where money is concerned, then you can start there and then you can move on to the next. I love this quote by Mark Twain. It is the two most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day you find out why. Two most important days. I always change it and say the day you find out your financial why. Why do you go to work? My daughter, ke rata hore why? Because my daughter rata go correct. Ke re no ke ni ko di model C. Rona re re why? Ma, please, it's why. So every time I keep working, I'm mogopula if na le mon ka ban shebile so. Can't be saying that, ma, please, it's embarrassing. Can not rent Bantu education. Why? Why? Ask yourself this question. Why do you work so hard? Work with people you probably don't like, with a boss you probably don't like, and maybe even in the organization you don't like, but you have to go there because you have to do this work. Then you get paid your salary. And then within 5 days, you've got nothing. Why? Why is it like that? And I think that's a big question that all of you must go and ask yourself, your big why. Why are you married? Why do you have the children that you have? What was the purpose? If you ask yourself the why question, it will lead you to the what, how, when, etc. But most of us never ask ourselves the why question. And even the way life is linked. If you think about it, when you are born, about boats or the parents they all consult. You just found yourself in someone's stomach. Being there, and then you were having such a good time. They were feeding you, how raha ba ufa metsi, how tena ba etsang. And then you get used to this lifestyle. Oh, this is a cozy lifestyle, mos. Aki raha fela. And then ning ning, aun so dutsi mo, tsatsi le leng fela. o utlwa fela go na le a force ya o pusha porokutso ha o tswa o bona batho ba bang ba weird ba apere dintho tse blue go na le light go na le that's why bana ba lla so because wa ipotsa why am I here? And then ba onka ba o repa wa bona ro ha ke ngwe mme wa ka o mpha lebese. You get used to the idea wa bona and then ning la so bana ba like bana bo khotso oh we mix le bona tsogang lona le a crash ba iswa crash bana ba tsebe gore why tshwantse ba tle mo because ngwana na sa tlwaetse ko gae ke ena go monate o fiwa dijo and then one day ke o tsusiwa tsoga dikolo di a bulwa dikolo ke eng sekolo why ke ya sekolo and then ba o fa le oversized school bag ngwana wa imelwa ke ole o lo kena ko a place ha fitla mo o thola batho ba bang ba tshwanang le ena you know depending what kind of a parent you are maybe ngwana no mo kwaletse mo jarateng ha tsebe le bana ba bang o bona di stranger tse ding tse that's why bana ba lla first day at school because the truth is they don't even know why they are there. You know, and then they go through school, and then when they have an understanding, or parents tell us, no, you must get a matric. Why? You don't know. Why taller matric? So you work towards grade 12. In your mind. And then how to go grade 12, but and we are university. But university for ing. Why? Ke di parents tsa ka tse. Why a university ha o tsebe o rulo balang wa choose so ya for the counseling wa choose accounting o lo yetsa ha o tsebe le gore why you know most of the time and then o nagana the year ya graduation I approach about and then you must get married. I thought if I get this degree then I'm done. Now I must get married. Now the pressure is on. O nyala ning. Ke nkarare so ka ro go bona o tla le motho. Ai so na le pressure so crepa la ile mang la nyala. Le two a le bure. Why? Le nyala. Then you get married and then on your wedding day have a first speech. You must multiply, you must have children. So the cycle goes on and the truth is, you have no idea why you are doing all of these things. And our parents don't sit us down and say, you know, we wanted a child because we just want to give you a good life. We want you to be a better person, blah, blah, blah. At least you go through life understanding. So you start working. You have no financial why. You have no goals. You have no purpose. You wake up, you go to work. Like you sebetsa ko Nedbank tsa mamole mo a ke tse go sebetsa ko efeng mo 135 tsa mamole mo Atria mo o kena mo le mo Maple Grove o reka di coffee you don't know why you are there but you know what you're with other people pay day yatla ha go monate. So what I want to talk about is the importance of you knowing your financial why. If you look at this Simon Sinek in his book, you know, he talks about start with your why for individuals and for organization. He places the why at the center of this circle. Because if you can answer that, the how, the what, the when, the what, the other stuff will then follow. So it's so important that you answer your financial why. Because what the financial why does, it leads you to your purpose. Actually, it leads you to having a vision. Because once you know, why am I working? What am I trying to achieve? Where do I want to see myself in the next few years financially? Then vision is born. Ne? And when we talk about vision, I mean, you know, there are so many descriptors to what vision is. And so one of them is that vision is a picture of a preferred future. So the future, the financial future that you want to see for yourself. What you are saying is that I'm here now, Mara. I see myself in 3 years or in 5 years in this particular financial status. So it's a picture of a preferred future. So you envisage this future. And once you see it, I love how people at the beginning of the year, oh, it's a vision board. Ebile go tswa le di-workshop tsa teng le nna ke entse workshop what's the workshop, vision board breakfast, vision board this, and then people gather, batla le dibuka, ba etsang, ba ngwala, ba etsa di-picture, ba re be ko leboteng. A ke re le Habakkuk too, write it on that who sees this can run with it. So le rona ra di etsa di-vision board, then ra di beha mo le gore we can see them and run with them. But I've never seen them also say, let's craft a financial plan that supports this vision that you have. And so then if you don't have that, it becomes a challenge. Because you have this grand plan, and the vision board. You know, like as a coach, people bring their vision boards. But really hunk. How sure lo rutlo thola hunk? But really hunk. Ba beile mo ba kentse di ring, ba kentse Range Rover, whatever. Hey, ke re in the vision board ya hao. Yeah. Okay. I think I can help you achieve 1, 2, 3 on your vision board. The ring, le hunk, I can't. But now let's talk about your vision board now. But now let's talk about the financial plan. Where's the plan that is going to help you achieve? So that's why it's so important. And I've said there that, you know, what the vision does, it fuels. I need my glasses now. I can't it fuels the passion to achieve your financial goals. Because when you have vision, you already know, right? In 7 years' time, I want to be a medical doctor. And that then gives you the next thing, which is purpose. To say, I'm going to do this. And your purpose is the reason that something is done. So, unali vision, now unali purpose. And what it does, it's also your resolve. You resolve or no. No maganjani, I'm going to achieve this. Because you've already thought about it, you've envisioned it, you know. If you want to, there are people who reach doctor. Okay, you know, whenever I talk about money, I talk about me. You know, when I started working for the bank, we didn't even have enough career guidance. So we were told, and then I get a maths skolong ne ke thola bo ma 40 teacher ka nna ra when di ke o ka di 25 le di 40. But when I work at the bank, I put myself under so much pressure and do unnecessary pressure ka register ACT 100F. I can't lebale that course le ECN 100F ke di failed for like 3 years because I couldn't understand economics, I couldn't understand accounting, but I had this vision misplaced ya gore ke batla ipona maybe ke le ko kana king ba itsang the accountant. I was never born an accountant. I was born someone who talks. I just didn't know, right? So my vision initially misaligned. And then eventually I'm like, how can I fail? Because you know, sekilo fitla ko third year. Yeah, other courses, but I can't proceed because ECN 100F, li ACT, kitsemo, adibatlu move. So I had to change course, you know. So what vision does? It gives you that purpose for your life. And you know, when you live a purpose-driven life, it's a very orderly life because you know where you are going, you know what you want to achieve. Nothing that happens will move you. Ne? And so even with your walk with Christ, you know, once you've determined, oh, this is it for me, it doesn't matter what happens on the side. When you are purpose driven, it's amazing. One of the analogies I use in my book and that I love using, ke the race horses. You know, okasheba July. I can see ba ibitsa, rona ne re bitsa July handicap. Ai, ke motho wa kgale, gona ba ibitsa Durban July. Okasheba those horses. Badinka, Badi Kenye, after their training, they put them in those 10 styles. And then Badi Kenya the blinkers, the walk club on the side. The reason they do that, it's because horses have got peripheral vision. They can see on the side. So they can see to the side and sometimes they can even see to the back, and that distracts them from the goal, from the vision, from the purpose. So that's why Badi Kenya in those things, Badi Kenya the walk club still. So what happens on race day, the horses have been trained, or when the bell rings, you bolt towards the mark. And that's what they do. As soon as the bell goes off, they go. O di shebe, o ka se bone engwe ntse sheba. Makhelwane wa pere di hooves tse jwang. Ba mo apesitse. No. They bolt and they go towards the mark. They will only stop when they have won or when they've reached the finish line. And so that's what purpose does, financial purpose. It will make you to be like that racehorse. You will not care what your neighbor is doing. Like a Reka Range Rover, you're not moved. Because when your goal is to buy a Picanto, and it's within your reach, it's your goal. You run your race. Okay, la mo highway. Ke tla ke sheba batho ba ba dikoloi tse nyane. Batho ba ba na batata mo fast lane wena santse ntse ka German car o itse bile o letsa music wa bina. Hey, Mr. Picanto, o tla be wa tloga, ne? Because you know what? They are so happy with their car. They are confident because they planned for it. They had a vision for it. They had a goal for it. And probably by regular cash. When I do tika mo gara Range Rover, how koloti, that's what I'm slow, go fast lane because we are blues are, yo, month end ko ipatala ka eng. So that's what vision does for you. It helps you. I tell you, Bazalwane, if you can have a vision for your finances, if you can have that purpose, jealousy, it'll fail. Competitive spirit, it'll fail. We're not going to compete with our neighbors. We're actually going to congratulate them. We are, because you are running your own race. You know, you are like that horse. You are going towards your own mark. So that helps you. And then it helps you with setting goals. Because you understand your money archetype, you understand your context, where you come from. But where we come from is different. We can be peers. We can start together, go university and finish together. Law firm, really too. But we are not the same. We don't have the same context. Utolor maybe na chelta ka kya boxa. Wena go na le bana ba 6. But something ulo ba kenya skolo. So you can't compete with the other person. La understand that never zalon. Very, very important because then it helps you to set goals. And when you set goals, you set realistic goals that are aligned to your situation, that are aligned to your context. And then it makes your life so easy. Auna stress. You know, if you can do that, you will live such a powerful life called a financial plan. And it's got those 5 components that I've put there. And the first and the most, you can forget the other 4. But budget, and people hate hearing about the word budget. Because we've attended so many workshops. Go buiwa ka yona everywhere. Budget. And but how color budget? Oh, yo. Can she tell us something earth-shattering? Or how do we invest? Nkile ka ya ko sekolong se ding ko Eastern Cape, re lo teacher bana ba teng financial literacy. Bana ba I can reply or ke ko maplazing, ba tsebe nix ko dilaling. Bana ba teng ke ba emisa, teacher please. We don't want to hear about a budget. Tell us how we can invest in the stock market ke re bana ba. Ake ba mpontshe pele budget ya bona. So if one of you were thinking like that, please show me your budget and how you implement it before you ask me about international. Because this is the basics. If you don't get your budget right, it doesn't matter how much you earn, you will always have financial challenges. A person who earns 10,000, who budgets well, and a person who earns 10 million, who does not budget well, Mrs. 10 million will always be stressed. Miss 10,000, uphila mnati, and then waiputsa hore wa etsa jwang o wa. So I always use this example. When I was working at People's Bank, there was this lady that worked in the canteen. And we would go and buy food from Go Canteen. And she had such a beautiful personality. All of us wanted to be served by her, which is a topic for another day. Or when you are at work, be the best person. Uska ba motho o baptizitsweng ka lemon juice. Batho ba batle le ho bua le wena. So this lady was such a nice lady. Kaofela re batla ho serviwa ke yena, and then ra mo tlwaela, and then the exec tsa mo floor ene ke sebetsa le ko yona. Then they said no, a re sa batla the execs a ba sa batla ho ya kwa ko tlase ba ilo pushana le the normal people ke rona ba no, re need somebody o tlo re tsetsang tee on our floor. And of course that lady was the first person, so ba ilo kopa re kopa a tla tlo sebetsa on our floor. And you know that lady, when she got to our floor, she was so wise. Are sheba, re driver the Mercedes. But I've always driven a Mercedes, ne? Nothing short. My dad instilled that in me, ne? And I keep we kaupreka, kia ipuela fela. Kirketa example. I'm sure na re sheba re bonaba. But I'm sure la ba tshela petrol, ba tshela 100 rand. O tsamaya ka Mercedes Benz, mara o yema, and tshela 100 rand mo. Ay, go tshwara we afford koloi ye. Right, grand. O tshwantse o downgrade. So this lady a re sheba wa re bona hore ka bo di 10, a ke re ko bankeng re gola ka di 20. Ha re di 10 re ba putswa. A rena tšhelete ke reka borotho re tla aro. Okay. A qala ha gola. Ko rena sa gole not even a fraction of what we used to earn. A re tlhalefela mavex, a reka borotho, a sheba o rata this, o rata this, o rata this, o rata this. A beya tšhelete. Ha re di 10, ha re bona re ba putsa, ha le odi. A re okay, nka ne ka letsetsa di sandwich, ka sekoloto, ka di 20 lampata. And then that's what she did over the years. And then when they built that building, Yako 135, then they said they don't want people batlo etsang tee because go tlo ba le di machines as it is and stuff like that. And we were thinking, no, this lady, she can't. O tlo lose mosebetsi wa hae. No ways. Ra qala ra mo teacher gore mouse e tshwarwa jwang. Ne re sa batle gore anke mouse ai bene. Ra qala ra mo teacher gore mouse e sebediswa jwang. Ra mo bontsha gore o lighta laptop jwang o etsang. Ha ba re kenye the list of the roles that we have, ra mo kenya as an administrator. So we were training her. Where did it start? Go canteen, ne? A re server fela gantle. Ha re ya 135 a tsamaya le rona as an administrator. She was just an amazing lady. And then one day, na ra tompotsa ke mo etsang di kitchen cupboards ke mo fe motho whatever. Hey, ha re thola di bonus. Maybe rona re thola 10 times what she gets. Arai, ke lo kenya di wardrobe. Ke mo shebe, ke lo kenya di wardrobe. I wonder ho dula kae. Oh, you know bazalwane re na le that thing. Tsatsi le leng a kula. A kula ra re no. A re eng. Ra kena mo dikoloing tsa rona ra di Mercedes le di whatever. Ra driver ra gave. O tsamaya le ka di taxi. Ra ya ko ga gae. Yo. When we got to her home, we were humbled. What a beautiful home she had. And she said, you know what, I owe nothing here. Kana ko di bond tsa rona. Hey! Ke bo 1.2 million. Ke koloi ka mo, ke bondi ka mo. Hey, motho o itulela ko Dobsonville. Beautiful home. I've never, you know, when we learned there, financial lessons, to say if you manage your finances well, it doesn't matter how much you earn, you can live your best life. The trick is how to apply prudence to your finances. So the budget is the first step. How about it define? It's a written down plan. But it's a mental accounting. Rather mental accounting. Ki gola 10,000 ki tlo nka 1,000 ki patale ki fe bana ki patale school fees, 1,000 ki tlo reka groceries, 2,000 ki tlo patala bond, 3,000 ki 10,000. When it comes to reality, it doesn't pan out like that. That's why they say it's a written down plan. Take the apps and whatever, but nah, I'm old fashioned. I take a book, a pen, and I write down. Even now, like Kahola next week. Yamdend. Inyani. Yona e kyo ne hlantshang gore ke bile ke budget hantle. Because inyani gona no a ke ra isa tshwana le before. And then ke a ngwala mo. Ha ntso ngola wa ipona. Pampiri e qoqa le wena. Yeah, because get 10,000. The expenses tsa hao say 15,000. So it starts talking to you. Msadi, you are skating. And then you revisit the plan or no. Aksadi reka di etat. Ay, akisa yetsa e. Kainta e. Then you come to that amount. But until you do that, you will never know whether you are living beyond your means or below your means or above your means. So what a budget does, it helps you to manage your unlimited wants with your limited resources. Because if you have 20,000, mara wena di expense tao ki 30,000, something doesn't line up. So that is the basics of any successful financial wealth creation strategy. Go back to the basics, and then we can talk about offshore investments and others. Master that first. In every episode of my podcast, like I said, the guest, at the end of the podcast, I always ask my guests to scatter a seed of wisdom. They all talk about a budget, and I love it. Because I got a primer, but because they know that if you don't get that right, you won't get anything. And then your budget then becomes your spending plan. Because a lot of people know what is coming in, they don't know what is going out. So you have to be meticulous about what goes out. So you have to think through, because also what is a priority? What is it that I must do first here? Where am I spending my money? With whom am I spending my money? On what am I spending my money? I tell people that every day is financial decision making day. And every financial decision that you make adds up and becomes whatever it becomes. So if we're not every day was swipe, go Nando's. wa swipe. Remember, o reka quarter chicken leg ya 49.99 ka your card. Your interest on your card is 21%. Then waija quarter chicken leg o e rekileng ka credit card. Jesus Christ, I'll use him as an example. The disciples came to him, "Bar master, ba mmotsa gore ya, why ba ba ja, ba ba etsang?" Morena Jesu a re mamelang mo. Food for the stomach, stomach for food. What comes in goes out. It's in the Bible. So, how swipe ka credit card ya hao 49.99. Be assured tomorrow it will be in the bathroom. Mara wena you will be paying 49.99 plus 21% for the next 6 months. Ile quarter chicken, Nando's.